I'm James. I'm awesome. What up, pooches? And welcome to Davey is Awesome. And you guys are in for a treat. My dad and Josh are gonna be doing a movie review of Demolition Man. So, hey man, enjoy the review.
Okay, cut. Look, you're doing good, the energy's nice, but we want this like more carefree. Okay, something like, hey man, enjoy the review.
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 No, you're not listening like this. Like, hey man, enjoy the review.
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 Okay, you don't want to be scary with it. Just be like, hey man, enjoy the review.
Hey man, enjoy the review.
Okay. You got the energy, but you need to bring the energy, you know what I mean? Bring the energy even though you've already got it. Be like, hey man, enjoy the review.
Hey man, enjoy the review.
Well, don't say it like a pervert. Say it like a normal person.
Yeah, like, hey man, enjoy the review.
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 Okay, are you stealing my money or are you trying to teach people to enjoy the review?
Okay, calm down, man. He's getting it. Okay, let's try this again. It's like, hey man, enjoy the review.
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 Okay, hold on, this isn't working. Hold on. Let's try this. Let's try it. Yeah. Like this. But like kind of get to the side, like you're thinking you're gangster, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. It's like, hey man, enjoy the review.
Hey man, enjoy the review.
Don't say it like Mario. Hey man, enjoy the review.
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 Okay, this ain't working either. Hold on.
Trust us on this.
Okay.
Put these on and get that wig.
Yeah, this is carefree. This is carefree, man.
Ah.
That's what this is all about. Carefree.
He looks just like Rubber Ashley.
He does. You got to get the Rubber Ashley vibe. Like Rubber Ashley would do it all loose and everything. Like, hey man, enjoy the review.
Hey man, enjoy the review.
You got it. Did you get that?
I have no idea what I just filmed.
Whatever, it's good. Wrap it.
Do you like fun and adventure? Then sit back and enjoy the Brothers Not Lovers as they discuss all things movies. What's overrated or underrated? What makes you go really? Or how dare you? Or even just simply how funny this movie can be. You have the insightful, intuitive Davey, who is awesome. And you have the film bestie, Josh. He's there.
Hi, I'm Davey. And I'm awesome. And
Who are you talking to? Have you been watching me sleep this whole time? Oh, you're sick. Oh! The video. What's up? How long was I out?
this is Josh, the film bestie.
And this is Davey. Sometimes he's awesome.
I'm always awesome.
Harold's always awesome.
Harold can't be awesome. He's dead. And this is our Brothers Not Lovers movie review. It's a movie that was set in the past, present, and future that didn't do well because it was just way too ahead of its time.
Back to the Future? Yeah. How dare you guys?
Back to the Future did very, very well. It's one of the best grossing movies ever.
Well, now that it was seen in Stranger Things, but...
Damn, you're stupid. This movie was made in 1993, and it was directed by Marco Brambilla and written by Daniel Waters, Robert Renault, and Peter M. Lankoff. Produced by Joel Silver, Michael Levy, and Howard Kazanian. Made by Silver Pictures and distributed by Warner Brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, Demolition Man. The very beginning of this movie dates it in 1996, which was 3 years after the release of this movie. And they did predict that this is what Los Angeles was going to look like in 1996, considering a year before this movie came out was the 1992 Los Angeles riots.
Yeah, and this looked like Los Angeles in the 1980s.
They're sending in a police helicopter because a bus with 30 passengers has been hijacked. And who are they going to send in to save these passengers?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
Send a maniac to catch one.
John Spartan.
Well, which Spartan does he play? Leonidas? Menelaus?
Not a Spartan. John Spartan. Played by Sylvester Stallone. He's the Demolition Man.
I'm confused.
That's not hard. The man he's after is Simon Phoenix, and he's laying a trap for him by spreading gasoline all over the place.
My God, that looks so expensive.
When Spartan finds Phoenix,
Is it cold in here? Or is it just me?
Phoenix is played by Wesley Snipes.
He's so cool.
Are we seriously about to have another one of these He-Man versus Skeletor things going on?
Don't be such a wet end, Davey. He-Man and Skeletor are fictional characters. Phoenix and Spartan are real guys. Fictional characters can't beat real guys.
Spartan now has to get him and Phoenix out of there before the place... No CGI, folks!
Practical.
The police chief comes over and asks Spartan, where are the hostages? Spartan says they must be somewhere else.
Because I did a thermal check and there was only 8 of them, all part of his gang. Wrong again!
But the firefighter has some news. He found the passengers. What's left of them?
They're everywhere.
See? Now who's the villain?
I'm gonna go with the one that set them up to be killed in the first place.
Hey, he was letting them live down there comfortably. Spartan burned it down without searching properly.
Dude, you've seen the movie, you know that's not what happened. However, John Spartan is being held accountable for not making sure those hostages were out in the first place.
You got a lawyer, you better call him.
And how'd that work out for you?
That I, William Smithers, acting as assistant warden, hereby carry out this sentence.
Must be the same lawyer as Amber Heard had.
Ouch. He's being sentenced to being cryogenically frozen until the year 2046. And while he's frozen, there will be behavior-altering probes going into him. Even though we did not have that kind of technology by 96. We still don't have that technology in 2022.
Dude, we thought we were going to be tooling it around like the Jetsons by now. Living up above with robot sex slaves named Rosie. He's frozen now. Just let it go. Hey, Jane. Get me off this crazy thing.
Sylvester Stallone describes this scene as being the worst 5 hours he's ever spent on set. He was legitimately terrified doing this scene that he was going to drown.
I'd be okay with it if I could just get frozen in one of those, but instead of water, make it beer.
Now we fast forward to the year 2032. The world has become a harmonious, peaceful existence.
Oh my God. Looks awful. Is that really where we're going to be 10 years from now?
Sooner, probably.
Oh God.
In fact, it's so harmonious that at the police station, it's been a very crazy morning thanks to graffiti.
Anyone else hear that?
Why wasn't there an all cars notified?
That officer is Lieutenant Lenina Huxley, played by a very young, not very famous yet, Sandra Bullock. This is the movie that launched her career.
Yeah. It's also the one that launched my pants.
Huxley's chief, Earl, is coming over to talk to her about her being bored and wanting excitement. He says that she's setting a bad example for the other officers. So she retreats to her office and calls him a dirty word.
Melina Huxley, you are fined 1/2 credit for...
Cursing is illegal in the future.
Bet you like that.
No.
Why do you censor me all the time?
Because, Josh, I don't believe in censorship. I believe people should censor themselves as they see fit. If I don't want cursing on my channel, then I won't put cursing on my channel. If somebody else wants cursing on their channel, that's for them. I'm all about free speech. Huxley also asks her fellow officer, Alfredo Garcia, if he ever gets bored.
Actually, no. I find my job deeply fulfilling.
He is played by a young Benjamin Bratt. This was before he was famous as well, and years later, he and Sandra Bullock would go on to make Miss Congeniality.
Stay away from my girl, Chicken Alfredo.
What I wouldn't give for some action.
Oh, you looking for some action, baby? I got some love potion number 9.
Man, you just pulled that out of The Blind Side.
No, I just got it while you were sleeping.
Are you on speed?
No, I just had a premonition.
I want to kill you. Hope floats.
Well, the truth is, I got it off the net.
Did it take 28 days?
Yeah, but I received it at the lake house.
That's enough, guys.
Bird Box!
14 years before Spartan is eligible for parole, Phoenix is up for parole. Which seems a little messed up in my opinion. Like, Spartan, it was involuntary manslaughter. Phoenix, on the other hand, he's guilty of murder in the first degree,
sexual assault,
grand larceny,
robbery,
arson,
forgery,
kidnapping,
Blade 2,
Blade Trinity,
Passenger 57,
and worst of all, tax evasion. Before they get started, Phoenix has something to say.
Teddy bear.
Well, that's not good.
Says you, fool. He is so cool.
Phoenix is, of course, attempting to make an escape.
Well, duh. Tuong Fu ain't gonna make itself.
One guard asks how he knew the password.
I wish I knew. Simon says die.
What are you doing?
He said, Simon says.
The police start hearing 187 alarms, but it's been so long since they've had a murder that they don't know what's going on.
Murder, death, kill, murder, death, kill.
I know that voice.
They start looking through the file of parole hearings.
7:30.
It's Phoenix.
Simon, 7:45.
That's the pilot from the beginning. He's now old. They get a break when there's another 187. A doctor has been killed in the parking lot.
Doctor's conveyance is not in parking zone. It is in motion.
Oh my God. It's Adrian Barbeau.
Yes, that voice is Adrian Barbeau.
Adrian! Oh, I want to date that computer now.
Because they now got a fix on that car, they know where he's headed.
His vehicle has been code fixed. Approaching the corner.
Hey. Is that Rob Schneider?
Yeah, he had a small part in this.
He was in Surf Ninjas.
Yeah, that was the same year that this was made.
Seriously, what if I end up in the next Sylvester Stallone movie?
Simon Phoenix arrives at a communal computer.
You look great today.
Wesley Snipes didn't think so. He hated that blonde dye job so bad that as soon as filming wrapped, he went and shaved his head bald. Phoenix is able to hack the computer system, which is strange to him because that was not something he was able to do before he got locked up. He's also hearing a voice.
Don't you have a job to do? Don't you have someone to kill?
Dad?
The police show up and, well, they really are no match for Simon Phoenix. They have no chance against him. He basically just rips right through them.
We're police officers. We're not trained to handle this kind of violence.
And then we meet a Dr. Raymond Cocteau.
Cocteau? Like the French playwright?
9, after his 2 favorite body parts.
Ooh.
Cocteau is having a meeting about what he feels is the worst problem in his society.
This radical terrorist behavior led by Mr. Friendly.
A group of people who live underground and do graffiti because they don't like this society. Just then, Cocteau's assistant, Associate Barnes, comes in and informs him of the chaos going on in the street. So Cocteau calls the police. Chief Earl is explaining to Dr. Cocteau that he can't even grasp what's going on.
It was fun for him.
Fun for him. Fun for you. It's fun for us.
It was.
Toys R Us.
Dr. Cocteau tells him to do whatever is in his power to capture Phoenix. Since Zachary Lamb, the pilot, was there when he was arrested, Lieutenant Huxley asks him how was he apprehended back then.
John Spartan.
Hell yes!
Whatever, dude.
They called him the Demolition Man.
Hence the name, Demolition Man.
Oh!
So they thaw out John Spartan and update him on the situation, what year it is. Sadly, that his wife is dead and they don't know where his daughter is. When he asks for a cigarette, they inform him that now anything bad for him is illegal.
Alcohol, caffeine, contact sports, meat.
No meat? No coffee?
No beer?
Kill me now!
Bad language, chocolate, gasoline, uneducational toys, and anything spicy.
Sadly, this is the direction we actually seem to be headed. Another problem Spartan is having.
You're out of toilet paper.
Dude, I thought this was in 2032, not 2020. Got any hand sanitizer at least?
Spartan's problem is that where they're supposed to have the toilet paper in the bathroom, they just have a shelf with 3 seashells.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
Okay, so why don't you tell him?
Used this information 2 years ago.
Just then, Spartan sees an old friend.
What happened to you? I got older.
And as they're talking like a couple of men do, Spartan curses and gets another fine. Which gives him an idea. He's going to get these fines and he's going to use these fines as toilet paper. Which in my opinion is exactly what those fines are good for.
See you in a few minutes.
Okay, I get it's an emergency, but when you get back, how does the 3 seashells thing work?
After they explain to Spartan that everyone is now microchipped.
They predicted that too?
Yep. They explain that Phoenix isn't microchipped because they didn't have a chance to. But Chief Earl says it's okay. He's predicted that what Phoenix is going to do is go start a drug lab. But Spartan, who knows Phoenix a lot better, says he's going for a gun.
The only place a person can even view a gun in this city is at a museum.
Now Spartan knows where he is. As they're driving to the museum, the officers turn on an oldies station to help Spartan feel more at home. Problem is that now they don't listen to actual songs, they only listen to jingles from old commercials, like their favorite one for Oscar Mayer hot dogs.
They sing along to jingles for products they're not even allowed to legally have?
Yeah, makes me wonder if their next favorite is Hot Pocket. At the museum, Phoenix cannot break the display glass that the guns are in, no matter how hard he tries. Until a museum worker comes by, and it gives Phoenix an idea.
Say what you want, but he's resourceful. I can't for the life of me figure out how to open this can.
It has a tab on the top, all you have to do is pull it.
You're not Phoenix. Keep your advice to yourself. Hungry.
When Spartan arrives, Phoenix is trapped in the exhibit, and he needs to find a way out. He found one.
What can I say? I'm a blast from the past.
Bada bing!
He's so cool.
But soon, Phoenix realizes that Spartan is there.
What the hell are you doing here?
He's here to ruin the fun, ruining everyone's good time. What? You know how oppressive and boring museums are? And you touch one statue, and they are kicking you out for life.
For the last time, Josh, that was not a statue of Colonel Sanders. That was just some old guy.
Well, I wanted to fight him, but he was chicken.
During the fight, Spartan gets the idea, when he sees a hanging fixture from above, to have it come crashing through the floor, sending them both into a perfectly preserved street that was left over from the big earthquake in 2010.
There was a big earthquake in 2010?
No, they were just predicting there would be a big earthquake in 2010.
They made the big earthquake in 2010 happen?
There was no big earthquake in 2010. Do you ever listen to me?
I am drunk right now. No.
Now, Phoenix has a new toy. A futuristic weapon. Sort of. It's old to them, but it was the last new gun that was ever invented before they banned all the guns.
Oh, hell.
Dude, breathe, calm down. I know it's awesome, but it's not that big a deal.
I want one!
For a moment, it comes down to a fist-to-fist fight between him and Spartan. And Spartan later realizes that he is now, for some reason, a lot more skilled than he was before he got frozen.
That's what happens when you watch a lot of Jackie Chan.
But Spartan doesn't stay down.
You're on TV!
There's a lot of puns in this movie. Ain't it great?
Don't let it get to your head.
Phoenix is able to evade Spartan and escape. Once he gets out, Phoenix sees Dr. Cocktail, and he tries to kill him.
I don't think so. No kiss kiss, no bang bang.
What the frick?
Don't you have someone to kill?
Dad?
The question is, why isn't he killing Cocktail?
Then go and do your job.
Venus! At that moment, Phoenix runs off because Spartan is now there. Dr. Cocktail is crediting Spartan for saving his life. So he invites Spartan and Huxley to join him for dinner at Taco Bell.
Look forward to it.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too. Me too.
Guess I know where we're getting lunch today. Apparently all restaurants now are Taco Bell because Taco Bell was the only restaurant that survived the franchise wars.
What does that even mean? Would they have a bunch of foot soldiers goose-stepping around while they throw burritos and burgers at each other? Would you like some extra ketchup with that? I was assaulted with an apple pie.
They brought in the big guns. Or Max, if you will.
And I'll bet the ice cream machine still didn't work.
The writer of this movie, though, did not put that in there because he loves Taco Bell, but he actually put that in there because he guessed that Taco Bell would survive if any restaurant just because of how cheap their product was.
Bring back the double-decker!
Although, funny enough, if you find a European copy of this movie, they actually dub out all the actors' voices to say Pizza Hut instead of Taco Bell every time it comes up. They did this because in Europe, they don't really have any Taco Bells. And because at the time, PepsiCo owned both Pizza Hut and Taco Bell, they just threw that in there instead.
Those poor Europeans.
I know, man. As if it's bad enough they don't have Taco Bell. In England, they have to eat English food.
The horror! But hey, you know, maybe they took away the beer and the cigarettes and a lot of other stuff. But hey, they still got Taco Bell. Can't be all bad.
Enjoy your meal, sir.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
Wait till they ask for some salt.
Salt is not good for you, hence it is illegal.
Ah! Oh, you sick bastards. What, does A1 sauce carry a death penalty too?
Well, it turns out Spartan feels the same way you do. Because as Cocktail is explaining to him that he's turned what is now called San Angeles into a wonderful utopia.
Maybe you can book me a flight out of here when the sermon's over.
Drink to that.
Cocktail says even Spartan must have preferred the cryogenic freezing to a regular prison. Until Spartan informs him that he was in fact awake. He had dreams, he had thoughts.
And my wife beating her fist against a block of ice that used to be her husband.
While they talk, outside, there's some bad guys getting ready to do a heist. So Spartan goes outside to confront them.
You're gonna regret this the rest of your life. Both seconds of it.
Yeah!
Phoenix would have said it better.
Good night!
Shut up!
But what does their leader have to say about this?
Get him!
Ah! Their leader is Edgar Friendly.
Who, worth noting, is not very friendly.
And he is played by Dennis Leary.
Who's also not very friendly.
Spartan is eventually able to trap all the bandits, so whoever can just grabs what they can and leaves.
Please, don't!
Their heist was stealing antacids?
No, that's food.
In the future, they eat antacids?
Spartan asks who they were.
Outcasts and deserters who choose to live beneath us in sewers and abandoned tunnels.
I think if I was in that future, I'd be one of those guys living in the sewers.
Oh, yeah.
Spartan feels bad, though. He says hurting people isn't a good thing.
Well, sometimes it is, but not when it's a bunch of people looking for something to eat.
I wish I lived in that future.
Don't say that. Don't ever say that. Stay here. Stay as long as you can. For the love of God, cherish tacos. Cherish. On the way back, Spartan is thinking about his daughter.
Me too.
Growing up in a place like this, and I'm afraid she's gonna think I'm some kind of primitive.
In the original cut that Warner Brothers deemed was way too long, they actually did show Spartan's daughter. She was in this movie. He found her living amongst the underground people. But they've pretty much cut almost all of her out of this movie.
Almost all of her?
We're gonna see a few shots of her, but they never acknowledge who she is.
Oh.
Back at Cocteau's, he arrives to see that Phoenix is already there.
Your job is to kill Mr. Edgar Friendly.
But because of Spartan being there, Phoenix needs some help. He's made a list of some men that he wants released from the cryo prison to help him.
So you're going to be the only mad dog killer type, right?
Only an idiot would agree to this.
So he agrees.
When they get to Huxley's apartment complex, which is also the same apartment complex they've set John Spartan up in, she takes Spartan to her apartment because she wants to show him all her 90s memorabilia, and she has a question for him.
I was wondering if you would like to have sex.
Dude, chicks in the future are so easy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, duh. Of course he would. He said like the equivalent of like 1 billion cold showers.
Huxley excuses herself, and when she comes back...
Wait, what is she doing? What is that? What's going on here?
In the future, sex is not actually through physical contact, but through brain stimulation.
Brain stimulation? During sex, that's the last time I want to use my brain.
He wants to do it the old-fashioned way.
Ew, disgusting.
First my beer, then my tacos, then my smokes. Now this. I mean, I get it. I wouldn't want to get with him either, but still.
She can't believe that he's talking about fluid transfer.
I mean, boating, the wild mambo, the hunka chunka.
Riding the hobby horse.
Bumping uglies.
Buying the Oscar Mayer hot dogs.
Kissing cousins.
Knocking boots.
Banging around in the kitchen.
Mommy finding Santa Claus.
Cleaning out the hard drive.
They've got a lot of analogies for coitus.
I love coitus. No.
Not even mouth transfer is condoned.
Kissing's not allowed?
Not unless you live in the sewers.
Oh, but those girls are so dirty. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm saying.
And to have children, you have to go to a lab and do in vitro. That's the only legal way to have kids. Because of this, Huxley is disgusted with John Spartan and wants him to leave. So he goes back to his own place. And in his own apartment, they have fully furnished it, including his own set of 3 seashells.
Does it come with instructions on how to use it?
Nope.
Come on, package peanuts. Stickers. They have instructions. They teach you how to pour water in a cup of noodles.
Spartan gets a video call that I cannot show you.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, wrong number.
She's naked. She ain't wearing any clothes, too. That's Brandy Ledford, by the way.
Spartan begins to watch some surveillance footage from the museum, and it's then that his suspicions are confirmed that Cocteau is in on this. He also knits Huxley a sweater to apologize.
Oh, how nice.
For some reason, he could not stop knitting. Huxley explains to him that this is part of the rehab process. They find a trade, they implant the knowledge and desire to want to carry out that trade. So it makes him think he wants to see Phoenix's rehab file.
Those are private, dude.
Turns out that his rehab trained him in martial arts, weaponry, guerrilla warfare, computer hacking.
Hey, maximum efficiency? The system works.
That's the same system that took away your beers, tacos, and sex.
Who develops these programs?
Well, Cocteau Industries, of course.
So now Spartan wants to question Cocteau about this surveillance footage he saw.
If you think you got this maniac under control, trust me, you don't.
The questioning doesn't go very smoothly. But instead of being intimidated by John Spartan, Cocteau is demanding that he's put back into the cryo prison. But Spartan has some other plans. He's determined that Phoenix must be in the sewers. So that's where he's going.
Oh, there must be so many seashells down there.
Maybe. I mean, they might not actually throw them away. They might just wash them out and reuse them.
That's disgusting.
When they get into the sewer community, Huxley and Garcia...
They look like that couple from Miss Congeniality.
Are you serious?
Get away from my girl, Alfredo!
They're both disgusted. But Spartan is in heaven.
That's all I want's a burger and a beer if you get one.
Burgers!
Beer!
But of course, Huxley, being the buzzkill that she is, has to ask where that meat came from.
This is a rat burger. Not bad.
No rats in my beer.
Dude, if you lived in a world where meat was illegal and therefore very hard to find.
I'd eat it.
They don't find Phoenix, but somebody finds them.
Hand over the glow rat.
Edgar Friendly thinks that Spartan is down there to get him because he refuses to live by Cocteau's plan.
I want high cholesterol. I want to eat bacon and butter and buckets of cheese.
So Cocteau freed Phoenix so that he can kill Friendly, and because Friendly threatens his society.
Are you freaking serious?
I want to run through the streets naked with green jello all over my body reading Playboy magazine.
Well, who hasn't been there?
I sure have.
Basically, Friendly goes on and on about how he refuses to live in Cocteau's world. In fact, he's gonna overthrow it.
I think he wants to kill you.
Too late, dude. I figured that one out like 13 seconds ago.
Phoenix is meeting with the men that were defrosted. Among them is Jesse Ventura. Phoenix is telling them that they have a chance to take over the world. But first, they gotta kill Friendly, and then they gotta kill Raymond.
Who the hell is Raymond?
Cocteau.
His name is Raymond?
Raymond Cocteau. Man, you really take a long time to get to a simple conclusion.
The burgers are made of rats!
Phoenix and his men notice Friendly and Spartan together, so it's the perfect time to take both of them out. And it's chaos! That random girl that Spartan was protecting was revealed in the original cut to be his actual daughter. However, in the cut that made it to theaters, they cut all of that out, and she's just a random girl that shows up 3 times. During the shootout, Friendly's not that friendly. Phoenix gets to the surface and steals a cop car. So Huxley and Spartan get another one.
There he is! He's in my car!
In the original cut, that wasn't actually her car, which is why they didn't show her say that. Originally, that was Zach Lamb's car. He went there to assist Spartan and Huxley. Phoenix found him, beat him to death, stole his gun and his car. And Huxley and Spartan find Zach Lamb, and he tells them about what they stole. But not only was the movie too long, but test audiences did not like this part. So they cut it. They chase Phoenix until John is able to jump onto his car. Once he's on his car, Phoenix has a message to tell him about the 30 passengers that Spartan inadvertently killed.
They were already dead!
The reason we don't see his face as he tells him this is because this was actually from a much earlier scene when Phoenix unveiled this, but they cut that for time and just later put the audio over here, which is why we see Spartan not really react to it at all. Unless you count this. So now, the future car was malfunctioning. Spartan couldn't get control of it. And it crashed. Big time.
Is Phoenix okay?
Spartan is.
It's secure phone, and it saved your life.
Why are we not funding this? Phoenix goes back to Cocteau's to report that Friendly is dead. Or so he thinks. And Cocteau says that with Friendly out of the way, he's going to use Phoenix to intimidate everybody and make society exactly how he wants it. Full control. Phoenix doesn't like this. He wants to kill Cocteau, but he can't. He's mind controlled. So he has Jesse Ventura do it. Why wouldn't you put the same mind control over the other maniacs?
Just like Dad. And why would you try to control Phoenix? He's incorrigible. He's like a falcon. You can't teach a falcon to hunt.
That's all you can teach a falcon to do. They've even made a sport out of it.
Scrimmage.
When Huxley and John show up, Huxley shows that she can handle her own. John wants to know where she learned to do that.
Oh, Jackie Chan movies?
Originally, Jackie Chan is who Sylvester Stallone wanted to play Phoenix. However, Jackie Chan was not that famous in America yet. You know, this is before Rush Hour. And in Hong Kong, where he was famous, that's actually a very bad career move to go from playing the hero in one movie to playing a villain in the next one. So he turned it down. After they find the remains of Cocteau, They also find out that Phoenix is planning to release an army of maniacs from the cryo prison. This is not a good thing!
Have you seen what their future looks like?
Still not a good thing!
I beg to differ. But you know what they say. Apples and apples, tomatoes and tomatoes.
Nobody says that. Spartan thinks that this is too dangerous for Huxley. So it's too dangerous for her to go and fight against some maniacs armed, but it's perfectly safe to leave her unconscious and vulnerable where there's a bunch of maniacs running around.
Oh, no.
Now Spartan and Phoenix have a final showdown at the cryo prison.
It's the final showdown.
While Phoenix is trying to shoot him aimlessly with the laser cutter they use to get people out of the ice, he hits a water main and is now flooding the entire room.
Is it cold in here, or is it just me?
Hey, that's what he said in the beginning.
Good. Spartan and Phoenix fight some more until Spartan grabs one of the capsules that freezes the prisoners. Man, that's cold.
Cold as ice, baby.
He told him to chill.
Now it's about to get icy hot.
He's cold-blooded.
Taking us right back to the Ice Age.
Okay, that's enough.
Ah! Oh God! He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay.
He's done, Josh.
Ah!
John got a head.
I got some pretty good head jokes. I don't think your wife would appreciate them.
Spartan runs and is able to get out of the cryo prison just before it explodes!
Oh, sorry. I'll miss you, son.
Don't worry, he'll be back.
In Passenger 57!
And now since Cocteau is dead, Associate Barnes agrees to work with Friendly so they can create another world, a world where there's peace but compromise of freedom. Next to Friendly is Spartan's daughter. This is the only other real clear time we get to see her since she was cut out of most of the movie. Spartan shows Huxley how good a kiss can be, which makes her want to try some more physical activities. If you know what I mean.
Get off my girl, provolone cheese!
But before they get to doing any of this, Spartan needs to get one thing straight.
How's that damn 3 seashell thing work?
Finally.
She doesn't say anything. That's it. We never learn how the 3 seashells work.
It's been 29 years, man.
We've been pissed about this for almost 30 years! So there you have it. That's Demolition Man.
Or what it should have been called, King Phoenix.
I like Demolition Man better. This movie did have success, just not in the United States. It had a $77 million budget, and in the United States box office only did $57 million. However, worldwide it did over $159 million, so they made plenty of money back on this.
I remember when this first came out.
Me too.
There's such nostalgia there. We were living in Carson City, constantly going to the Taco Bell because of the commercials and all.
Right.
Buying the action figures. It was one of the best friggin' months of my life.
Yeah, I remember the Taco Bell. They had the special Demolition Man sleeves that they put the cinnamon twists in.
Yeah.
And then the toys. We had the entire collection of Demolition Man toys. We each had a set. And it was funny because it was clearly, even back then, just old He-Man toys that they repainted. And for Spartan and for Phoenix, they put different heads on the bodies. The rest of them, they just repainted them.
Yeah, so we had the entire collection of both.
We did, the New Adventures of He-Man, whereas we didn't really like the cartoon. The toys came out first, and of course we were like, well, it's He-Man, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case, but yeah, the toys were fun, though.
Yeah.
The funny thing to me is, this had a great cast, but almost didn't. Like, originally, they wanted John Spartan and Phoenix to be played by Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Problem was, neither of those guys was willing to play the villain, and eventually both just decided, well, then we just don't want to do it. Now that their careers are basically crap, Van Damme was the villain, named villain, in Expendables 2, opposite Sylvester Stallone, and Steven Seagal played the villain in one of those masterpiece movies, Machete.
I like those Machete movies.
I love them, but let's not pretend they're good.
Oh god, no.
You know? Even Stallone, though, the first time he was offered this movie, he passed. But then after being offered again, was like, you know what? Let's take a chance and let's do this movie. Even Wesley Snipes, though, turned down the role of Simon Phoenix several times. They really wanted him for the part, but he said no until the producer Joel Silver and the director Marco Brambilla went to the set of Rising Sun, which was the movie that I wouldn't say made him famous, but was definitely a stepping stone into him getting to here, which is actually the movie that catapulted his career. Another casting decision that was great was they got a relatively unknown Sandra Bullock. She'd been in a few things, but nothing huge. Probably the biggest thing she'd been in at this point was Love Potion No. 9, which, let's face it, is not exactly one of those classic movies a lot of people remember. But they took a chance on her after Lori Petty didn't work out. Lori Petty, the one they wanted because she had fame from Point Break and A League of Their Own, was originally cast to play Lenina Huxley, but 3 days into shooting, they realized it wasn't going to work because her and Sylvester Stallone just could not get along.
Gee, wonder why.
Apparently a lot of people have had problems getting along with Lori Petty. It's one of the reasons that her career kind of died. She became known as somebody who is difficult to work with, and you don't want that reputation in Hollywood. But funny enough, the guy who played Raymond Cocteau, apparently he didn't get along very well with either Wesley Snipes or Sylvester Stallone, but was able to put it offside enough to make the movie. Another funny thing was when they got Dennis Leary signed on, they wanted him in this role as Edgar Friendly because of his comedic rants. They wanted that kind of a character in here to play Edgar Friendly. But then after they casted him, to get some of his rants and stuff in the script, they had to really convince the studio to let him do it. Which, it was perfect because I could imagine Dennis Leary being that anarchist guy living in the sewers because screw you, I'm going to live the way I want to live.
I'd vote him as my president.
I don't know if I go that far, but I definitely agree with him on a lot of stuff. Like, things like cigarettes, beer, cursing, whether you agree with it or not, it's not for you to tell other people they can't.
Everybody get that? Good.
They cut out a lot of this movie because the original movie was just over 2 hours and 30 minutes long, which in '93 was too long for a movie. Like, you gotta remember, unless you were like Titanic or Braveheart, you weren't gonna get your movie out if it was that long.
Oh, God, no.
The studio made them cut it down to even a point where the studio was not very comfortable releasing it at around 1 hour and 50 minutes. Which tells me again that it was ahead of its time, because nowadays, 2 hours and 30 minutes, that's just kind of standard for a movie like this now.
I can't stand a movie that's less than 2 hours and 30 minutes.
It doesn't really necessarily bother me if it's under 2 hours and 30 minutes, as long as they can get the story told properly in that time. Which is something I like about longer movies, is I like when you take your time to tell the story. It doesn't need to be rushed. Before I knew all the stuff about Spartan's daughter, we always kind of wondered that, like, whatever happened to his daughter? They never answered it. Would have been nice to have the scenes with her in there to see them reconnect. We always wondered, why does Zach Lamb never show up at the end of the movie? Would have been nice to know, because he died.
You think it's nice to know an old guy died?
Not to know he died, but to know why he wasn't there. Another reason they took out a lot of the stuff with his daughter was because test audiences didn't like that he ended up having a daughter that was older than the girl he would hook up with at the end of the movie, Huxley.
Now remember, this was 1993. Things were different. Now, dating people younger than your own children is kind of standard.
I don't know about that, but seriously, I think test audiences like to ruin movies.
Oh, yeah.
There has been talks with the 30-year mark coming up that they might release the director's cut, which I am so hoping. Please.
30 years!
But please, release the director's cut, and maybe in the director's cut, maybe you can go in there and add, what was with the damn 3 seashells?
Explain it. Even if it sounds horrifying, because in my head I'm thinking something very horrifying.
Well, seriously, as horrifying as it can be, can't be worse than a poop knife.
Oh, God. It's a poop knife.
Go watch TikTok. This movie was just a movie that was way ahead of its time, has predicted a lot of things that are kind of happening in society now. Talked about things that we weren't really talking about then, like, yes, toxic masculinity, but also talking about people moving in a direction where they want security so badly that they're willing to give up their freedom for it, which is not a good thing in my opinion. Kind of agree with Benjamin Franklin. If you're willing to give up your liberty for safety, you don't deserve either. But,
Exactly.
But, like I said, this movie that is way ahead of its time has now finally started to catch up to its time. So it's time that if you haven't seen Demolition Man, that you get out there and you check out Demolition Man.
Doesn't matter if it's the Taco Bell version or the Pizza Hut version. Check it out.
If I were you, get both versions. It's fun. So there you have it. That's our Brothers Not Lovers movie review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications from when we post new videos, and leave a comment. See you later, pooches.